challenging Pedrosa for championship positions. Both of us were, and Melandri, like some guys that had been runner-up to Rossi, basically.
Yep.
So things were really good. But then 08, 09, 08 changed a lot. We had Loris Capirossi come in, and he needed to get used to the bike. So a lot of development was down to me in the early stages. Loris brought some good key things from Ducati, but basically the global financial crisis is what hurt us the most. So Suzuki cut budget massively, and our development just slowed right down. So that was probably the biggest thing that hurt us in those 2 years. That, and we went to a one tyre rule. And the tyre that Bridgestone, we were running Bridgestones up to that one tyre rule time, but we ran a very different front tyre shape. We ran one similar to Kawasaki, which was very different to what Ducati used. And obviously Casey was world champion. Bridgestone went with the shape that worked for Ducati. When we were first riding it, we were a second slower on that type of front tyre. It didn't work with our bike. So this is one of the reasons I'm against one tyre rules. You've got to build something that suits the tyre. And it cost Suzuki millions to go and redevelop chassis to make the tyre work for our bike. And we had to change a lot of things in the way the motorcycle worked just to make sure that the tyre that was given to us, we could get the most out of.
And I said it to someone the other week, like all cost reduction exercises, they end up turning the other way, eh?
Exactly.
It does. You've got to develop around that.
Valentino Rossi was a big player in the one tyre rule. He's had so much stuff over the years. I wouldn't say advantages, but he's been able to have the best equipment for a long time.
Yep.
And then Casey wins a championship in 07. He's really strong in early 08. And Valentino's on Michelin's. And he's saying he's at a disadvantage with Michelin tyres because Bridgestone could win some races, not all. And he wanted to change. And he had Carmelo's ear, and it was Valentino that pushed that whole thing through very much so earlier than it would have come. He changed tyres halfway through the season, even though he was complaining. At that point, when he was complaining, Danny Pedrosa was actually leading the world championship on Michelin's, but
which have been the favourable tyre for a
they
lot of
had
years.
been the favourable tyre for a long time, and Bridgestone had come on and very much come to match them. It was funny at the end of 08. I was talking to Casey Stoner about this not that long ago. We knew Yamaha and Valentino's team were going to Bridgestone, and we said, might have been the end of 07, one of the years anyway. And I said, as soon as that happened, I called management at Suzuki and said, we need to change to Michelin. We need to get off what Valentino's on. And Casey said, it's funny. I called Ducati and said exactly the same thing. So because if the effort goes into Valentino at that time when he was number one, and especially with Michelin, he got stuff that other people didn't get. So we figured you don't want to be on the same as him. You want to be on something else and beat him,